Guys, before we start today's episode, I want to promote you to check out our brand new website. That's right. We have a direct web link that you can go that's just pure McAllister Hours. None of this YouTube, Facebook, social media, nothing. You can just go directly to us at www.mcallisterhours.com. That's right. You can get any episode that we have. You can get news, updates. If you want to contact us directly, if you want to tell us how much we fucking suck, you can go on that website and tell me. There's also even a direct link for you to donate. So if you want to come do that, that would fucking make my day. I'll suck your dick. I will suck your dick if you give me $10. No, I'm kidding. Seriously though, go donate and go check out the website. We got a lot going on. Stutterbox Productions is a backbone for many of the events that you see in the Midwest, from EDM festivals to late-night hip-hop shows. This company has been working closely with this podcast since the beginning, and we always have plenty of things planned for the future. So if you're looking to plan your next gig or event, head over to their Facebook page to learn more. Hey guys, I say this every week. You probably don't even need me to read this off, because you're so familiar with Guerrilla Graphics Design Agency, who can provide you top-tier effects and production value. They have everything you can ask for, including professional equipment and a stellar end product from top to bottom. I say they, but really I mean we, because I'm actually also a part of this company. I lead editing, doing a lot of stuff for them. So head over to GuerrillaGraphics.com for all of your design needs today. That's GuerrillaGraphics.com. I don't really have anything planned. Just
yeah, it's just winging.
I think that's just how that's how podcasters do it, right?
That's exactly how.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the McAllister Hours Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Cole McAllister. We're joined today by fellow comrade in the podcast world, over a little way yonder in the shittier city of Cedar Rapids, GXP Podcast. Bryan Lee from the GXP Podcast.
In the shitty city of Cedar Rapids, apparently, right? No, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on here, dude. Man, you know how to just make a guy feel good.
Just move.
Yeah, just move, you know?
That's kidding.
An intro right there. I tell you what. Yeah.
I love my Cedar Rapids homies. Last episode we just dropped. We started season 4, so we got to keep it wild. Keep it going.
Absolutely.
The TikTok's been grinding. We've been growing. Things have been going. I've seen that your podcast is, as always, growing. I didn't realize before I went on, like, your reach. Your podcast had, like, the thousands of people that you interacted with, and you posted the stats, and you definitely have the numbers to back them up. Let me ask you this, because for some context, you've been doing this total for about, you said 27 years.
I've been DJing for 27 years. I've been in the music industry that long. I'm an old radio guy. I started in radio back in 1996. And I worked on radio all the way up and through 2007 and actually 2008, and it just it was one of those things that I'm really passionate about, but it didn't make me a ton of money. And I stumbled upon podcasts, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not making much money in freaking radio anyhow, but I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah,
hell
right?
Yeah, let me do that. So that's how GXP Podcast got started.
Hell yeah. So let me ask you this: like, what is it that has, like, kept you going through, like, all these years of grind? Because I mean, that's quite a hustle. Doing this for as long as you
almost
have.
3 decades.
Yeah. What like, I don't know, like, what's the key or what's the anecdote that you find in yourself that keeps you going through that?
Honestly, it's bringing joy and positivity to people's lives. Even if it's for a couple hours at a time, DJing certain events or bars or their special days or anything like that. It's being resilient in order to provide, like, the highest quality that we have in this market. And if you can make people's day for a few hours, like, that's super important, because a lot of people are unhappy with their lives. I'm just blessed that I get to actually do what I love. That doesn't mean it's not stressful. It's just I get to literally wake up every day and not hate my job. And so if I can provide some happiness for a few hours to some people, that's super important to me.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I mean, you're providing hours of happiness throughout your podcast. Seeing all the different guests that you've had, in that area, in that niche, Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see Iowa as a whole growing, and I think you and I are a huge part of that, man.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's super exciting right now. Iowa as a music scene in general, just a music general, is being recognized more than it has been, and it's been long overdue. Iowa has produced a ton of talent out of here, whether it be acting talent or sports talent or musical talent. A lot has come out of Iowa, and a lot of people overlook Iowa because we don't have any sports teams, like professional teams and this and that. But what we do have is like a huge talent pool, and to see everybody kind of working together, with Tone bringing in the Iowa Music Awards and everything, and recognizing everybody in the entire state, is something we definitely needed. And I think it's super neat that instead of people fighting against each other, they're working together more than I've ever seen in the industry. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and speaking of Iowa talent, you and your organization, the Soundbox, I believe I'm recollecting correctly, we're involved in the Iowa Music Awards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was your involvement in that, and how did that go?
Well, originally I was going to be the DJ for the Iowa Music Awards, and then Tone basically just kind of put me on the board, and I expressed that I didn't feel comfortable being on the Academy, judging a lot of these people that I work with and may work with in the future, or have worked with in the past. So I didn't feel that. I felt a certain way about it, and so I removed myself from the Academy. And he had somebody else actually DJ that night, which was actually awesome because I got to go and enjoy it and have a good time. So actually it worked out really well.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So I'm just curious, have you ever gone on any like artistic music ventures? Like, have you rapped or produced or anything like that? Or has it just strictly been around radio DJing?
No, I haven't rapped. I'm not a rapper. I've written some stuff here and there. And
play 16 right now. Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to hear it. I make Rob Van Winkle, aka Vanilla Ice, sound really good. But I've done some writing for some artists. I do a lot of A&R projects, some management and so forth. And I'm studying to get my Pro Tools and Logic Pro certification so I can engineer people's projects as well. I mean, I'm already a studio engineer when it comes to podcast and some of the smaller projects and so forth. But to be able to come in and take your project from recording all the way through mixing and mastering and so forth, I think that's my next step. But as far as talent goes, like, I'm a DJ, and that's where I'm just gonna let it lay, man. I'm not gonna try and be anything I'm not. I'm not a rapper. Or, I don't play instruments like a lot of people do, but I understand music very well. So I'm very content with being the guy behind the scenes.
Hey, I respect that, man. And the world needs people like that.
Yeah, 100%.
They need people that are on the outside and kind of can have the outside perspective.
Yeah,
for sure. With everything you've done with radio, what's been like do you have any like crazy interviews that you can think of off the top of your head? Anything that's like anything that's really stood out to you, because that's quite a rare career,
I mean, we get to meet a lot of people in the industry, and I'm very blessed for that. But I remember, I was like my first year, and I think I was like 14 or 15. I was at the radio studio, and I was working a weekend, and my station manager calls me up, and he's like, "Hey man, Vanilla Ice is in town." And this is the second mention of Vanilla Ice in like 2 minutes. But Vanilla Ice is in town. He's going to be doing a show. He's going to stop by the studio for an on-air interview. Do you got this? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I let him and his crew in, and they come into the studio, and I get behind the board, and they're like, oh, they thought I was just like the help. And here I am, the radio DJ, right? So, I'm like, all right, you guys ready to put on your headphones? Tri-State's Hottest Hits, K-Life 105, Bryan Lee here on a Saturday afternoon. We got a great impromptu interview right now. I cannot believe it. We have Vanilla Ice in studio, ladies and gentlemen, and you prop up, the sound effects and all that stuff. And like, they're just sitting there like, oh, you're the fucking DJ? And I'm like, yeah, here's this fucking 15-year-old kid. Yeah, my moped's parked outside. That's a true story.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, have people always told you that like you have like a voice for radio? Or
Everybody
a face
told me
for radio?
I have a face for radio for sure. Like, stay behind the mic. Nobody needs to see you. You started balding at 16. You know.
Did you for real?
Yeah, it was about 17.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Thank God my head looks good. You know, I mean, otherwise I'd be fucked.
Is that genetic or like cancerous?
It's not cancerous. Jesus, dude. What is wrong with you? That's fucked up. No, it's genetics. You know, they say it skips a generation, right? Because my grandfather, he passed away at 87 years old with a full head of hair. And then my dad, well, he just has the clown ring. And, you know, I keep telling him to shave his head. I'm like, he got a good looking head. He just won't do it. He just, you know, but when I was about 18, I started shaving my head because it was just inevitable. So, yeah.
Hey, we actually had a guest on recently, semi-recently, Jacob the Freak. He's a long time member of the show, and you know he's gone balding. I know a lot of people have gone balding, but I don't know, my family tree. I got that like those Irish roots. You know what I mean? The craziness that stays in the hair. You know?
The red, yeah. I think my hair is kind of red actually if I grew it out. So.
Yeah, but you know, there's just something about like your, you know, when you like even though you did your whole when you did your whole spiel, maybe that's just experience, but like you seem to have like a core, just like verbose, like your a projectile way
it just comes
about
right
you.
off the cuff, man. I mean, I don't know any different. Does that make sense? Like, you know, when my friends were working at Burger King or APAC or, you know, any of those jobs at Hy-Vee, you know, you could get at 14, 15 years old. I was working for a radio station and I was DJing in nightclubs and talking to 70,000 people on the radio in Dubuque and the tri-state area, you know, and a lot of people didn't know I was that young, especially when I started going out and like doing remotes and like appearances and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, you're a kid. I'm like, yep. You know, but you know, it just it's something that's always came natural to me. Like, you know, in high school, like you had to take speech class in order to graduate, right? It was not a prerequisite, it was a requirement. And a lot of people fretted it. You know, they cannot stand speech, they were worried about it, they barely skated by with a C or a D. Nah, man, I got an A+ in that, and then I took advanced speech on top of it. You know, people are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "It's just how it is." You know, it was really easy for me to speak in front of people. It doesn't mean I don't get nervous. Hell no, I get nervous all the time, man. Shit, I was nervous coming here. Yeah, you know, because you know it's like the unknown and what's going to happen. But you know, once you get into it, it's one of those things that like kind of your muscle memory takes over, and you just kind of do that. You know, every single wedding I'm nervous in front of. Like, all right, here we go. And then once you get into it and you have a good shit, everything's good.
Hell yeah, man. GXP Podcast. What went into the name of that?
So GXP stands for Generation X Productions. That is the company that I created back in 95 with a couple buddies when we first started DJing, and then I copyrighted it and trademarked it in the late 90s, and everybody else kind of fell off, and I just kind of took ownership of the company. And then once I went to start a podcast, I'm like, what am I going to start? You know, what am I going to call it? And I was like, GXP Podcast. Like, it just felt so natural because I branded my company for so many years. We used to, sponsor softball teams and volleyball teams and this and that and the other thing. So like GXP or Generation X Productions in Cedar Rapids especially was pretty prominent. So a lot of people ask that now that it's going like worldwide, and people are like, what does GXP stand for? I'm like, well, Generation X Productions. And they're like, Generation X. I'm like, technically I'm 1 year off from being Gen X. I'm actually
you lying, cheating bastard.
I'm a motherfucker, you know?
I told you. I knew we were going to get something on you today, and this is what it is. We've got you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know it, right?
Game over.
I'm not Generation X, but, you know, it sounds cool, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
Good shit, man.
Yeah, man. You know?
Hell yeah.
So it's it's a podcast that I started with my buddies because I miss being on the radio. And it first started like the first like 5 episodes were just kind of bullshit, like me and my friends getting fucked up on microphones, like going for hours on end, you know, and being like, nobody's gonna listen to this. Well, it turns out people did start to listen, so I kind of changed the entire direction of it to be positive people doing positive things in and around the Midwest. So whether
why the fuck do you have me on? No.
Well, I'm getting a lot of that feedback back. They're like, you about ruined your career, Bryan. Did you know Coleman before this? We'll give you a pass if you didn't. And I was like, when we started talking about LSD and Dahmer, that's when I knew the wheels fell off. And this is going to be a great episode. Maybe you should take up smoking again.
Motherfucker.
That's what happens when you get another podcaster on here,
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
he just lost control of his show. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning into the McAllister Hours, I tell you what.
Yeah, let's just mute this man.
No, I'm not muted. I'm just kidding.
That's when I'm just too lazy to retort. I'm just like, ow.
Yeah, fuck him. I'll just mute him out. That's a true story, man.
So let me ask you this. Because you transitioned from radio to podcasting. Yeah. What do you think are like both the pros and cons with this transition? Because radio is obviously still around, but let's face it, podcasting is where it's at.
Yeah. The pros for podcasting is that it's completely uncensored. It's the Wild West right now.
Agreed.
So once that censorship starts to take hold, you're going to see a lot of things change. You're going to see a lot of shows drop and go from there. The great thing about radio is that it's guaranteed, as far as people listening, it's free for everybody. The signals are free. Like, my dad still asks me, how do I tune into your show?
I can't find it in the dial.
Any fucking time, anywhere, you can pull it up on your phone. On my phone. Why would I listen to it on my phone? You don't got to put it up to your ear. Put it on. Never. You know what, man? That's fine. So getting that older generation to understand what a podcast is and the accessibility of it is super important. I think it's catching on big time. And I think like the death of FM radio is prominent here, within the next 20, 25 years. They said that about AM radio too when FM took over, but a lot of people still listen to AM because it has a lot wider reach. It has a bigger distance and it's literally free on everything. But once people understand like that podcasts are free as well, and you can start and stop them anytime you want, you can listen to them over and over again. You don't have to get a certain time.
Exactly.
But what it doesn't provide is the statistics that people are looking for through AM FM radio, which is the time and temperature, the forecast, current events, things that are happening live. So I think there will always be a place for FM and AM radio, but until the podcast world figures out how to put those current events in with their podcast running, that would be the biggest factor, I think.
I see. I think that is starting to happen. We do see we see live podcasts all the time. Mm-hmm. I think that is something you could in theory have like a 7-8 a.m. podcast that just tunes in, does a 15-minute or tunes in 3 times a day or whatever. Right. That could definitely happen. It's in those stages, but yeah, I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah.
I for one love podcasting. It's kind of funny you talk about censorship. We actually had an episode get taken down like 2 episodes ago, and it was over, but I don't remember talking about. It wasn't like a central. It was just they must have just picked it up in the in the subtitles,
the algorithms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I even appealed it, and I was like, "What's even going on?" Nothing. Yeah, so
it's crazy, man.
The sad story of
So what got you into podcasting?
It was interesting. Kind of my divorce, honestly, in a weird way. So I was going through the separation, divorce, and I got to a point where I could not listen to music, and I just the same songs over and over again. It was just it was infecting my brain. So I got into podcasting. I got into the basics. I got into Rogan. I got into Dark Horse and other things like that. And I had a love for it. I couldn't get enough of it. H3, I listened to a lot of them back in the day. I don't really fuck with them anymore, but But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff like that. That was kind of just how my thing, you know. And I had also talked about doing podcasts with people back when I was still in that relationship, and it was kind of just an idea that I always had. And like I was telling her, the pandemic happened, and it was just kind of right place, right time. So it made sense. And it's kind of weird how it's worked out, because I think, and you can probably relate to this too, there's a point where you're podcasting, it's kind of like, this is bullshit, right? Like what we're doing is just kind of bullshitting in a way.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
But like, there's a craft to it. It's like being a lawyer. Like a good lawyer, there's like a craft to like talking,
Yeah, I don't know if podcasting and lawyering are the same, but
hey, don't ruin my dream, man. Ruin my
one's a dirty,
dream.
rotten scoundrel. The other one is talking about dirty, rotten scoundrels. I'll let you figure out which one is which.
Well, both my parents were lawyers, actually.
Oh, so that's how I put my foot in my mouth there, didn't I?
I'm gonna call him up right now. We're gonna be talking settlement.
I got him here.
We'll reach a settlement. We'll let you know. Shit.
So you didn't become a lawyer, though?
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. The first thing they wanted me to be was a priest, which is hilarious. And then they wanted me to be in the military, and I was like, nah. And after that, they were like, all right, go be a music teacher, I guess.
That's what you are now?
No, that's what I first went off to be. I did a semester and a half of that, dropped out, did computer programming for a little bit, and now I'm finishing up my video production degree.
Nice.
So all over the map.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
That's awesome, man. No, that's good.
Yeah, it's quite the journey. I will say, I think there's a lot to be offered in a non-traditional method of education. Kind of going different routes. Not necessarily going like the K through college, like straight through. I think if you find yourself in situations where you're down low or not well financially or whatever, it can really help to be have those experiences, and it helps you in life. It helps you with your anxiety, it helps you with your workmanship, everything. It's just good to go through those experiences. And the shitty things is you don't realize it until the older you get. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when you think of it, you're like, this is awful. I want to kill myself. But then 10 years later, you're like, for these reasons, it's probably good that I went through this.
It worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Yeah.
But I will say on that note too, don't listen to everything old people say, because they're fucking wrong a lot of the times too.
Yeah, I try not to open my mouth unless I know the facts. Otherwise, you just look like an idiot. I've done that a lot in my life. So.
But see, this goes back to the art of bullshitting, man. Is even if you don't have the facts, you can make it seem like you have the facts.
Oh, shit, yeah. But at the end of the day,
like in school, like I was really good at essays. I was terrible at tests. I was terrible at multiple choice, anything. I couldn't remember the answers. I couldn't keep track of it. But an essay, if I had to convince you of an answer, I could not know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I could at least pass that bitch with fucking just making some bullshit up. Taking part of the question and being like, let's break down this question, what?
They got so sick of reading it that they're just like, you know what, B+.
Whatever. Let's just give him the effort. Yeah. Give it to him for effort. They're not paying me enough. They're not paying me enough to analyze this overdrawn fucking thing on this motherfucker won't even get to the point because he has no point.
There's no point to give.
I'll give him a C, whatever.
Yeah, he just gave up before. Yeah. I like it, man.
Fuck, dude. Were you pretty good in school?
No.
No,
I just didn't care. I could do. Yeah. I could have done well. I just didn't care. Now, my kids, on the other hand, are straight A honor roll. President of the Honor Society, class president, everything. Varsity athletes, complete opposite of me. And I think it's because when I was younger and they were younger, I kind of instilled that in their head that that's super important. A funny story I always bring up is my mom, when my kids were younger, she's like, you're too hard on your kids. You need to lighten up. And I was like, no, I demand respect and they got a mind and there's a certain way things are supposed to be done. And a couple years ago, she was like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have been harder on you. I said, yeah, you should have, because they turned out great. And it's because I raised them completely different than I was raised. So I just didn't. I just wanted to make sure that they were set up for success. So, I was kind of on my own a lot from like 7th grade on. So, I didn't have a whole lot of motivation except for making money for myself. And
Sure.
I thank God for music, man. I mean, without music, I don't know where I would have ended up. Honestly, probably in prison or something. So
damn. So like you think? So like, how much of you think a lot of it's just like through your, like, was it just like networking a lot of like your success now? Like the reason, like just networking through DJing?
Yeah,
that's
100%.
crazy,
I mean, I started connecting with people back in the 90s, and I still have connections with them today. And, anybody that I can get around that is successful, especially in the music game, I'm trying to gain as much knowledge as I can from them and let them know, like, what I'm on as well, too. So, like, that always helps out, It's one of those things. It's like the music game, you got one chance. So, like, if you sit back and don't take that chance, like, somebody else is going to grab that. So, you take every opportunity that you can, and,
Yeah. Well,
it's a great way to stay in shape.
Yeah. Well, you're a good guy to know.
Yeah, I kind of am.
Give me your contact book. I'll give you.
my Rolodex is pretty thick. I'm not gonna lie. So,
damn.
But
that's the true value in the world. I feel like, right?
It's about who you know, not what you know.
Yeah.
And capitalizing. I tell people all the time, I'm a normal person with extraordinary opportunities that I capitalize on. So everybody has the same opportunities. It's just depending on where you find them and then what you do with them once you find them.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that there's maybe something in you that's like maybe attributes to some sort of like savviness to you? Like, because, you talk about like, you have the opportunity. Everybody has the opportunity, but not everyone seizes on it. Maybe there's something there in that, you have that certain kind of mindset where you can... I think that's special.
Well, and I've missed opportunities in the past, and realizing that you miss opportunities. So when another opportunity that is similar to it, you jump at it, and you don't let it pass you by again, And it's about, man, there's butterflies that hit my stomach every single day. I'm like, should I do that? No, you can't hesitate. There's no time for hesitation. I mean, that's how I landed Elway, shoot.
Hell yeah.
Being resilient and don't hesitate, because, it's like that with everything in life, honestly. I didn't land at the Soundbox and OAS Studios because I waited for it to come to me. I manifested it and then went after it.
Hell yeah. I remembered a question I wanted to ask you earlier. What's like your regular work week? Because I see you on social, you're kind of doing all these different kinds of things. Like what? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure nothing's consistent, but like, what's your like general Monday through Friday look like? Or is it you're probably doing a lot of weekend stuff too?
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, I worked a day job Monday through Friday. I was a wine and spirits manager for Hy-Vee for a long time, and then I worked for a beverage company that sold to Hy-Vees, so that consumed a big part of my day during the day, and then I would go to the studio in the afternoons and evenings till 10, 11, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, taking care of business, and then the weekends as gigs and weddings and private events, and then, you got to fit in the social media time. It's now that I don't have to work a day job anymore, it's kind of nice because I get a little bit more sleep, and then I can start my day at like 8 or 9 in the morning instead of 6 a.m. And sometimes I work at home till noon or 1, and then go to the studio, and I'm there till 1 in the morning sometimes.
Damn. And that's a combination of just recording podcasts and people coming in to like do studio time or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then editing and all that stuff.
Okay.
We take care of all this stuff. I produce 4 podcasts right now, so on top of my own. So
what are those if you're able to mention them?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple new ones coming out. Deck Diaries, that's going to be coming out here. We're working on that. Chilling with V. His name is Vidro. He has one out right now. I am a producer for the Groove Life podcast with Shane Lunsford, and I'm going to be working with the Confused Breakfast, and I'm going to be producing Marvin McNutt's podcast when he comes out with this here in early 23. So,
you're working with Confused Breakfast?
Yeah.
Like,
damn.
so are you able to talk about like what, like, are you just, is it just behind the scenes type of stuff?
Yep. I'm just helping them, with the production side. So.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Because, we talk plenty of shit on this show, but I mean, Confused Breakfast, they fucking got it, man.
Yeah,
they really figured it out.
They just went out to Astoria and took a tour of the Goonies house.
Yep, I saw that.
And then they did a podcast inside the house.
I haven't listened to it yet, but like that's
it's pretty cool.
Insane.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
See, I never watched the Goonies though, so
wow. Yeah. You got to watch the Goonies first before you even. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know we talked about that in my podcast. How you didn't watch a whole lot of movies, huh?
Yeah, I was sheltered. The Irish Catholics, man, they fucking
no excuse. I grew up Irish Catholic. Yeah,
the crazy thing is like the one that was crazy about was my mom, who isn't even Irish. She's like, she's like half Italian. So I mean, it's probably just like the Irish Catholics, structure, and then like a crazy half Italian lady just came in and just was like, "We're gonna do it like it's the law. We're gonna."
And then you have to.
Love you, Mom.
Damn.
Good shit, man.
Yeah, man.
You get along with your parents?
I do. Yeah, they've been split up since I was like 11.
Oh, that's
but no, actually, I mean, we all get along really well.
That's good. That's good.
Just when he asked me to tune into my show. Damn, dude. And he's probably figured it out by now, and he's like, "Really, you got to bring that up every time, Bri?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
You just got to text him this episode 10 times. Make sure you. Yeah. He's like, at this part,
you mentioned, bro.
Here, I'll do you one even better. I'll spend time. I'll go back and I'll make a compilation of all the times we talked to your dad, and you can send him a personal video.
He's gonna be like, "You're an asshole, man."
What's his name?
Randy.
Fuck you, Randy. No, we just end it with that.
Yeah. And that's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, I just ruined Brian's relationship with his father.
Everything was great until you went on to that Kevin McAllister podcast. Damn Home Alone guy, he grew up on us.
Oh my god, dude! So Kevin McAllister from McAllister, not McAllister, Home Alone, and Coleman Camping Company. Those are the two things that everyone associates my name with.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what's hilarious? I have this little Coleman Camping cooler down here, like a little tiny camper. God, I can't talk today. A little tiny cooler with the Coleman logo on it.
Yeah.
And I was giving this lady a ride, and she noticed it because I had my lunch in it, and she was like, "Is that cooler have your name on, like imprinted on it, or is that from the camping company?"
It's my name.
And, yeah, I really wanted to ask her. I'm like, "Is this a serious question? Are you you truly think that I spent money and like
had it embossed into the plastic?"
Dumb bitch.
That's where you just say yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes you do that. We had a podcast guest one time. My girlfriend, she plays the Switch. Is something going on?
I'm putting it on low power mode.
Oh. I was like, someone's sabotaging the fucking podcast. Well, it's a good thing we got 3 cameras, so that's the beauty. And 4, yeah. We got.
You guys look great.
Yeah.
I know.
Your cheeks are cherry red.
Yeah.
Teeth white.
B camera roll operator.
Yeah.
Okay, you a movie guy?
Yeah, I love movies. Growing up, I didn't have cable, so me and my sister watched a lot of movies on VHS.
Oh, okay. Fuck yeah.
Thursday or Friday, we'd go to the movie store and get 3 or 4 movies for the weekend, and
Hell yeah.
camp out when my parents went out and did whatever.
That's what's up. You have any like nostalgic picks?
So I'm a huge Back to the Future guy.
Hell yeah.
Right.
I just listened to Confused Breakfast just an episode.
They had a lot of like interesting things in there that I didn't even think about.
Yeah,
that they brought up. They do such a great job with like, these fan theories and most punchable face and
that shit I love. I love that.
And like the prop that everybody gets to choose. So it was super cool. And I've watched them hundreds of times, and I'm on these fan sites and everything else, and I have a whole wall that goes down to my basement that's all like Back to the Future, like memorabilia and a signed poster from Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, and so I love Back to the Future.
That's fucking awesome.
Everybody's like, but it's so fake. I'm like, no shit, it's a fucking time machine. Like, what? I hate it when people argue with me about it. I'm like, I know it's fake. That's the whole point.
That's another good movie on acid.
I bet
Back
it
to
is.
the Future. Yeah. That's some good shit.
I don't do acid, but have you picked up smoking, by the way? No?
Nope, I haven't picked up the acid either. No.
Okay,
that's the funny
good.
thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the one thing I regret about talking, because now everybody thinks I'm an acid head. I'm like, I haven't done this shit in like 3 years.
He still trips his balls off, but he doesn't smoke anymore.
Yeah, you love that, don't you?
I do. That
was so good. We do a good job with the editing pay here. No, I love being on your podcast. You're a great guest to have on here, man. Like, you're great. You're a great time. You're good to be around.
Hell yeah, man. And you got a great thing going. I mean, your numbers are better than mine. So
you think so?
For the category, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got more episodes than me.
True. True.
So
I do like my episode count. That's the thing.
You're up there. We won't talk about your body count, but your episode count. Yeah.
Well, we just all went around the room right now. Everybody. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Lower, higher.
Oh, look at this. Bring your girlfriend, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
There's a whole layer of context that the audience isn't even going to understand.
You guys sure you didn't take mushrooms?
Shit, every day.
Yeah?
No, that would be awful. I missed that. My obliviousness.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, no. If I did mushrooms for every episode, that would not be good. You could that'd be fun to do like a podcast, like just like a separate podcast at where he just did a drug.
See, Rogan does that at the end of Sober October every year. Him and his buddy, and it's like a 4-hour podcast, and they're all it's like him and Segura and Kreischer and somebody else, and they all get so fucked up. Like, I listened to all 4 hours one time when I was working at Collins Aerospace, and it was in my ear, and I'm like, man, these guys are fucked up. Holy cow! I mean, they're really fucked up. I can't believe they put that out there. That didn't make any sense. But I kept listening.
Right? But that's like almost the genius of Rogan, right? He seemed to have tapped into that like that stream of consciousness that doesn't necessarily have any substance, but it's enough to carry the listener through and be like it's ideal for work, and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Background noise, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be funny to do have an episode where you do crack and one where you do DMT. No, I'm kidding. Just every episode. It'd be only 10 episodes long because he died. Then
yeah, no shit. Everybody dies. Well, we lost 3 on the crack episode. What? What? Why would you do crack?
We could do ceremonial drug testing ceremony at the beginning of every episode. Just be like, okay, here's the drugs, and we test them.
And you test them, make sure that they're pure and everything.
Yeah, so nobody dies.
I'm not coming to those episodes. Just not going to do it.
Guy, it's not the McAllister Hours, okay? It's another podcast. It's a different podcast.
Listen, Kevin. No. Listen, Kevin. You've probably been called that your entire life, huh?
Not like that much, but yeah, enough.
Enough. Yeah, enough for you to stop. All right? Bryan, come on my podcast and make fun of me? Get the fuck out of here.
You motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my house.
All right.
No. Like I said, I'm glad you didn't bring 13 other people.
No. We had a nice drive here, except for,
Yeah, almost dying. Well, not you almost dying, but other people probably almost dying.
Yeah, it was a bad accident, and we got out late, and it just happened that way. So, you'll have that. So, but thank you for being patient.
Yeah, we try here. Well, shit, man, we've gone for about 45 minutes. We have one thing that we like to do with our guests every episode. We have something called the fucked up bucket.
Fucked up bucket.
And this is not something you have to do. But if you don't do it, I will read the card and you will just look like a pussy. So,
oh my god,
it's good of you to. So what you do is you take the read it out loud, and that's it. You just read it. You be the question or a statement.
I don't want to do this. Can I pick another one? This is so bad.
You can't pick. I can read it for you if you want, but you can't pick.
Have you ever tasted your own cum? Describe it. Salty.
Is that legit?
It's a fucked up bucket, man. I tell you what.
Well, I haven't.
Well, I didn't know it was judged.
Oh, this is a fun one. Police officers give tickets for people using their phones while operating a vehicle when they literally drive with a laptop in front of their face.
Correct. I wish I would have got that one.
Truth or dare?
Yeah, no shit.
Do you have like a fucked up question you want to ask me to make up for it?
No, I'm
even the playing field.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I can't even think of a fucked up question like that. It's the one thing I picked out of that bucket. Like, why couldn't I talk about police officers and laptops? It would have been so much easier. You and your fucked up bucket. I tell you what.
It's the beauty of the bucket, though.
Yeah,
you never know.
I don't know, man.
You're talking about all these things that Confused Breakfast do. I have to try, man.
Yeah,
I have to try with the bucket.
I guess. I know. I like it. A lot of like some people like do on the end of their show, like would you ever or like have you ever, and you got to like say yes or no or you have to like I don't know. They do all sorts of crazy questions. So
can I ask you one?
Okay, fuck it.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Yeah.
Damn. How was it?
You're just trying to get me fucked up on the way home.
This episode is double entertaining. There's an episode here, and then there's going to be a whole episode in the car ride back.
Yeah, no shit. Thanks a lot, Coleman. Girlfriend's mad at me. She threw the ring out on the interstate.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, oh shit. My ex-wife used to do that.
I would never to do that, so I've made a promise.
Well, good. Yeah.
Sure, took it off.
Don't fuck around with that.
Yeah.
She'd be like, well, thanks. That was expensive, but all right.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before I had kids or anything. So.
Is it worth it?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's sad, man.
Yeah.
You're just saying that.
Why are you making me rehash this?
I just woke up and I was like, oh, this must have happened. Bryan, I love you, man.
Thanks a lot, Coleman. I appreciate you as well. So glad I drove 2 hours to get in a fight with my girlfriend.
Bryan's a great guy. Okay. Don't get mad at him.
She goes, is he?
It's my fault.
That's all good.
If the roles were reversed, the same outcome would be. This is just how the host works.
Yes.
Anyways, Bryan Lee, GXP Podcast. Is there anything else you want to mention or shout out before?
No, check me out on all my socials. Bryan Lee GXP on Instagram. DJ Bryan Lee on Facebook. It's BRYANLEE. If you could just Google search Bryan Lee, DJ Bryan Lee, Bryan with the Y, and search GXP Podcast. It's available on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, everything. So.
Fuck yeah, man. Thank you for being such a good sport. I hope I didn't fucking ruin your evening. This happens when I don't have beer.
Yeah, exactly.
The beer, people think the beer makes me crazy, but it really leaves me out.
Yeah, even
when I have an empty cup of water, things get bad, man.
They get weird.
It gets dark.
Coleman, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Guys, every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m., we have Patreon. Go check that out. And if you support me, support this guy. A lot of similar guests and areas that we both kind of, pick from in terms of podcasting. So, I consider him, a comrade in the field. So,
absolutely.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
Have a good night.